What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Devslopes, and today we have some exciting stuff to share with you. What's going on with web development in 2024 and what can we expect? Now today we're going to be talking about a lot of the web development trends, the job industry, the main technologies you need to be focusing on, and overall what changed compared to last year and the years before and what's coming ahead. So let's get right to the point. Let's take a look at the Bureau of Labor Statistics. We look at this all the time, guys, when it comes to job outlooks and things along those lines. So web developers and digital designers. So as of 2022, web developers' average salary sits around $80,000 per year. Now this is awesome. This is exactly what we want to see in the industry. If we take a look at the average salary in the US, the average salary sits around $59,000 per year. So just seeing that web developers are making a lot of money just starting out and also just in the average salaries is just a great sign. Typical entry-level education, bachelor's degree. Surprisingly enough, this is changing a lot. A lot of people are finding, a lot of companies are finding that you do not need a college degree when it comes to programming. Number of jobs in 2022, 216,000. And job outlook, this is what we want to see, 2022 to 2032, 16%, much faster than average. About 19,000 openings for web developers are projected each year. The median annual wage for web and digital interface designers was $83,000 in May of 2022. So all we can see is that web developers are getting paid a lot of money, and it's still a field that is projected to grow much faster than the average. Now let's talk about what's changing. So we already know, and we've talked about it over and over in every single video, artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence. This is one of the big things everybody's worried about, and we're not going to go too into detail because we do all the time. But hear me out when I talk about this. The difference between a good developer and a bad developer is your ability to embrace new challenges and your ability to adapt to the industry. For example, the industry has continued to change over time, and that's one of the reasons you find a lot of people learning new and shiny technologies because they think it's going to be the next big thing that takes over. So the idea isn't to necessarily follow that route, but it's just to be aware that the industry is changing and that you are going to have to adapt. And when it comes to artificial intelligence, you need to learn how to use it like a tool. Instead of saying, nah, I never want to use GitHub Copilot, download it, embrace it, because it's good. These are the things that are going to be what evolves the industry. And you want to be someone that evolves along with it. Now, let's get into the meat of what this video is going to be about. This website is called State of JS, and it has a lot of awesome data when it comes to where web development sits and what are the top languages and frameworks and technologies that are being used. So let's talk about JavaScript itself. JavaScript is still the leading language when it comes to web development, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. So if we take a look at JavaScript, majority of JavaScript is used for front-end development. That's no surprise there, which just shows that it is the leading language when it comes to web development. Primarily, JavaScript is used to build single-page applications. This comes at no surprise. This just shows nothing is really changing. So if you're one of those people that is like, we need a new JavaScript, don't expect JavaScript to go anywhere anytime soon. And if you're wanting to become a web developer, JavaScript is going to be your bread and butter. But we want to dive more into what else is going to help you land that $80,000 a year job. When it comes to frameworks, I don't want this to be a shocker. React.js is going to be your leading framework going into 2024 and probably onward. The reason I say that is if we take a look at usage here, this is where it's most important. What is being used in the industry? React remains atop by a landslide. A landslide. In 2022, 81.8% usage compared to the only one below it, Angular, 48%. That just shows when it comes to jobs and it comes to what the industry is calling for, React.js is your go-to. And not only that, people are loving React.js. And honestly, it doesn't surprise me that Svelte is being something that is heavily being wanted in the industry more, but React.js still remains at the top there in terms of what is necessary and what is being used. Other tools that are being used, Astro, Remix, Next.js. Next.js is going to be a big one. And overall, front-end frameworks, are people happy with what's going on? And overall, yes. 45% of people are happy, 15% are very happy, 17% are indifferent. But nobody's really unhappy about what frameworks are being used in the industry right now. Now, when it comes to our rendering frameworks, what are we looking at that you need to be learning going into 2024? Next.js still remains the leading rendering framework, and it doesn't look like it's going anywhere anytime soon. 48.6% compared to its following competitor Gatsby, 23%. It's almost 50% higher. And once again, people are happy about this. People are happy about this result. And if the people are happy, then you're not going to be seeing a lot of changes. Now, when it comes to back-end frameworks in web development, what is the calling for? Express. And this doesn't come as a surprise. So that hasn't really changed very much, but it's good to keep that in mind whenever you're transitioning from front end to back end development. Node.js is also one of the other back end technologies that is leading in the web development industry. Now, languages that compile JavaScript. We're going to talk about this more in depth. Typescript. No surprise here, but what you guys might not know is exactly what is going on with TypeScript, and should you be looking at TypeScript going into 2024? The answer to that is an astounding yes, and we're about to dive that here in a moment once we take a look at some of the other things. So in web development, a lot of the other non-JavaScript languages that people are using is around Python, PHP, Java. We're just going to be looking at those top three. Python, no surprise there. PHP, no surprise there. Java, no surprise there. But it just goes to show the languages that are being worked with in JavaScript. So let's talk about TypeScript. What's coming with TypeScript? TypeScript had a great year in 2023, and they actually did an awesome interview with the senior product manager of TypeScript, and we're going to take a look at some of the questions he was asked and his answers. What do you think was the most significant change in 2023 for TypeScript? He said, it's hard to pick just one thing. We're always trying to make things better in big and small ways, but 2023 was pretty huge for us. We're really proud about how lean and fast we made TypeScript while bringing in quality of life checking improvements. And people were delighted with the editing experience in Visual Studio and VS Code. Now, this is awesome information to hear. TypeScript is crushing it, and people are becoming more and more excited to use it. In fact, at Devslopes, we even added it to our curriculum because it is becoming more and more demanded in the market. So you're listening to all of this and you're wondering, what is the perfect stack? What do I need to be focusing on going into 2024 when it comes to web development? And what are the things I need to be keeping in mind? To keep it simple, we have to start with our very age-old three: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You need your foundation with HTML, you need your styling with CSS, and you need your JavaScript because that is the bread and butter in web development. When it comes to things to keep a lookout, you need to be looking at TypeScript. More and more people are wanting to see TypeScript being used in their application. So why not learn what's trending in the industry? Now, don't go ahead and jump to TypeScript without learning things like JavaScript and HTML and CSS, but have an idea that TypeScript is your goal moving forward. When it comes to backend frameworks, we see Node.js is still leading, Express, backend databases like SQL, and that's pretty much it. And of course, for frameworks, React. We've had a lot of people in the comments saying, what about Vue.js? What about Angular? Angular is better. Guys, we're not worried about that. We're worried about what the industry is calling for. If you're a web developer wanting to get a web development job, you need to be able to meet the skills that they're asking for. So if that means React, you gotta learn React. And of course, keeping an open mind when it comes to artificial intelligence. Don't look at it and say, this is gonna take my job. Look at it and say, how can I use this as a tool to make my job easier and simpler? I just said in the last video, feel free to check it out, by the way, a lot of awesome data on the job market, that it is not a time to be writing subpar code. You want to be able to stand out to employers, and that means having the skills, the technical skills, and the soft skills you need in order to stand out. Guys, that's a wrap for this video on web development in 2024. Thank you guys so much for watching. I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Leave a comment down below on what you think and if there's anything I missed or anything you're curious about. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much. Peace.